All right, so today we're going to be talking about the next movement in our 5 basic human movement series. So we talked about running gait and walking gait earlier on. Now we're going to be talking about jumping. Later on, we're going to be talking about climbing and throwing. But jumping is essentially, as I said, it's like running. When you're running as well as when you're jumping, you're going to have 2 feet off the ground. So that means that you're going to be having to exert some kind of force on the substrate, aka the ground that you're going to be on. So that means that you're going to have muscles that are going to be able to push down into the ground so you can escape the force of gravity that's pulling down on you and you can levitate or jump. So what you want to do essentially to get stronger for if you want to get higher in the air, or if you want to move further along in your broad jump, you're going to want to strengthen your quads, you want to strengthen your hips, you want to strengthen your glutes and your hamstrings, and as well as your calf muscles. All right. So the reason why we'll start with the calf muscles, the reason why you want to strengthen your calf muscles is because essentially that is your pusher. That's what pushes off the substrate, essentially, right? So when you're on the ground, you're going to be pushing off your feet, and that's going to help you get off. You can actually jump without actually straightening, without even bending your knees. So that's actually very important. Now, the next thing, obviously, is to strengthen everything above your calf muscles, right? So your hips, your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, those are going to help you with the actual thrusting force, okay? So that push off you're going to use your calf muscles. That's going to help you push off the ground and give you a little bit of height. But where the real magic happens is in those hips. The lower you can get to the ground and the more power you can exert going down and coming back up, the higher you're going to get up off the ground. Now, you can actually strengthen your broad jump by doing squats, or you can do lunges or even calf raises. Again, that's going to strengthen those calves, help you with that push off. But not only that, you can actually help your tendons to react better. So we're doing things like ballistics type of exercises, dynamic type exercises, things that involve you moving from one direction into the other, agility type exercises. Those are going to help you jump. Those might not necessarily help you jump higher, but they're going to help you jump quicker and help you out pretty much everywhere in life. There's not many times where people care how high you jump, but everybody does care if they can get out of the way of a bus that's moving in front of them fast enough. So yeah, you want to be a little quick with your jumps and maybe not too concerned with how high you can jump. All right. So one thing that I just want to leave you with before we head on out of here is that a lot of people don't think about this when they're jumping. The most important thing that you can have when you're jumping, besides obviously your calf muscles, your quad muscles, your hamstrings, and your glutes, is to have a strong core. And you see, we talked about this a lot when I was a jumper back when I was running college track. It's important to have a strong core, because if you don't have a strong core, you're not going to be able to control your body. Again, we're using physics here. The more your body's moving around, the more you have to control, the more mass you're going to have. So essentially, the more gravity is going to have an effect on you. So you want to be as stable as possible when you're jumping. So if you have strong abdominals, you have strong lower back muscles, strong oblique muscles that are essentially going to keep your torso in place as everything else is moving, you're going to be A-OK. So that is a great way to help improve your jump, whether it's your vertical jump or your broad jump. Just strengthen those muscle groups with those particular exercises. And remember, it's not necessarily about how high you jump, it's about how fast you can jump, because fast jumping is going to help you in everyday life. That's functional training, my friends. So hopefully you learned something from this video today. If there's any questions that you have or any comments that you might want to leave them down below in the comment section. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be notified when we answer your questions next week. All right. Thanks again for listening and watching. And as always, keep good company.